So before we get started, I want to take this time to apologize. I would like to apologize to Các bạn ơi, Phúc Mập đây. Chào mừng đến kênh Phúc Mập Vlog. What's going on, guys? My name's Hurley, and I'm an American living in Vietnam making content for YouTube. Occasionally, I'll do some TV shows like game shows, food shows, and talk shows. In today's video, I want to review the latest talk show that I took part in. Now, the whole show was in Vietnamese. That's why I'm doing this review in English for my foreign fans. But as always, I put Vietnamese subtitles down here, so feel free to read along and keep up with my English review. Now, to give you a little background on this show was called Nhập Gia Tùy Tục, which roughly translated is when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And the idea behind the show was to bring in foreigners from different countries and different cultures who can speak Vietnamese and give their perspectives or their point of view on different topics as they relate to Vietnam. Now, I will say right in the beginning, this show humbled me. I mean, my Vietnamese is okay. I had my own TV show. I do my YouTube mostly in Vietnamese, but being on the show with people that have been here like 10 years, seeing the level that they're at versus the level that I'm at, it was a very interesting and humbling experience to debate and discuss topics in all Vietnamese. But I'm very thankful for it, and today we're going to break down all of the episodes, including the controversial one, but we'll get to that soon. To start off the show, we had a flirt with the females on the show. Now, all of the pickup lines I know of Vietnamese are not safe for TV, and I've been married for almost 4 years, so I have no reason to even practice new ones. So the one I threw out, I said, "Do you know why I'm this fat?" She said, "Why? Because you eat a lot?" "Yes, but because I have you inside of me."
Chào các Kim. Các Kim biết tại sao anh mập như thế này không? Tại vì chồng anh có em đó.
Cái gì?
Chồng anh có em đó.
Chưa, từ.
Corny, I know, but that's the only one I had to go with. For all of the episodes, they try to bring in a celebrity guest that was relevant to the topic. As I said, the topic for this one was beauty, so they brought in a model named Vo Hoàng Yên to discuss these different topics. And being a model and a beauty pageant contestant, well, her views on beauty and plastic surgery are probably a bit different than mine. When they asked me what I look for in a woman, I told the truth. I like natural.
Đối với Phúc không quan trọng, đối với Phúc là tự nhiên thôi. Bình thường là quan trọng nhất.
I don't prefer plastic surgery. While every adult has the right to pay for a surgery to make themselves more beautiful in their eyes, that's not what I look for. I prefer natural. I express this to my wife. I love her the way she is. I think she's beautiful. There's no reason for her to get plastic surgery.
Thật ra Phúc có lẽ không thay đổi gì. Phúc rất là tự tin, rất là vừa ý với cơ thể của mình. Mặc dù Phúc không có tóc, nhưng biết rồi vẫn là đẹp trai nhất. Có bộ râu này. Mặc dù Phúc là một người thấp, nhưng vẫn là tự tin, không cân cao để làm gì. Thấp không sao. Phúc thích cờ của mình. Phúc thích mỡ của mình. Phúc thích... No, không nói được on TV. Okay, không rồi.
If there's anything on our body that we would change, what would we change? And I want to give an answer that helps to inspire the younger generation to be confident with who they are. So I said I wouldn't change anything. I'm happy with being short. I'm happy with my hair or lack thereof. I'm happy with my... Can't say that on TV. But the point is, I know I'm still the most handsome man in Saigon. A quick disclaimer before we start this video. On my channel, I focus on entertainment and education, making people laugh and helping them to learn English, Vietnamese, and more about Vietnamese culture. I try to stay away from giving my personal opinion on politics, pandemics, and other important world matters. It actually bothers me when I see celebrities using their platform to push their opinion on others or actually getting paid to talk about pandemics and other things, but we're not going to go into that. Now, that being said, on this show, the whole point is to give our opinion from our perspective, from our country. So, there are some opinions that I give in this video that you may not agree with. And let me tell you in the beginning, I don't care. And you shouldn't either. The mark of a mature person is to be able to listen to other people's opinions, realize that they're the same or different than theirs, and move on with their life. Don't get tied up on this if you don't agree with some of my opinions. Let's get started. The next episode I took part in was episode 3, all about weddings or đám cưới, and the celebrity guest for this one was Võ Hạ Trâm.
Cho các cháu em mời các bác vào tự động bỏ vào giúp em.
Quên bập rồi.
Quẹt thẻ.
And she is a singer here in Vietnam. Now, I think the reason they brought her in is because she has an Indian husband, so she knows a little bit more about a foreign wedding versus a Vietnamese wedding. And as for the show, CJ, myself, and Lily, well, we all took part in Vietnamese weddings, so we have a perspective of our country versus Vietnam as well.
Phúc Mập.
Em Phúc không biết làm gì, mắc áo dài này. Họ cho Phúc một heo quay. Làm gì với cái này không biết.
Nguyên một con heo đúng không?
Yeah, Phúc just theo vợ. Say, ok, bây giờ làm gì? Chụp hình với mọi người. Ok, được.
They asked me about my experience with my Vietnamese wedding, and I told the truth. I had no idea what was going on. I went to have an áo dài made, so I'm wearing this áo dài. They give me this nguyên con heo, this full pig. I'm like, what do I do with this pig? And then we have all these little traditions that we go through, and basically I just followed my wife's lead. It was an interesting experience.
Phong cách kiểu của phương Tây. Phúc Mập đi, em đã có cầu hôn không?
Thật ra vợ của Phúc rất thích uống trà sữa. And nước nào có trà sữa ngon nhất? Đài Loan. So Phúc và vợ làm kế hoạch đi đến Đài Loan. So chúng tôi leo núi voi, Elephant Mountain ở Taipei. And Phúc để nhẫn cưới trên một ống hút trà sữa, sẽ uống trà sữa này và cưới đàn ông này được không? Ok. Được, tinh tế.
Next, we go on to talk about our marriage proposals. And I'm very proud of my marriage proposal. My wife, she likes milk tea, and one of the most famous places in the world for milk tea is Taiwan. So we went to Taiwan, we ate, we drank milk tea, and when it came time to propose, I bought a milk tea. I put the straw in, I put the ring on top of the straw, and I asked my wife, will you drink this milk tea and marry me? Of course, she said yes, and here we are today. But I am very proud of that story, and I was happy to try to explain that in Vietnamese. Okay, speaking a second language isn't always the easiest thing, especially when it comes to explaining concepts or your opinions clearly. But I tried my best. They brought up a controversial topic, which in Vietnamese is
vấn đề về việc sống chung với nhau trước khi đám cưới. Mọi người có bao giờ sao Phúc Mập có ý kiến?
Dustin đang nói về ăn cơm trước cạn hả?
Chính xác.
This is ăn cơm trước cạn, which means to have premarital. And they wanted to ask our thoughts on this. Now, personally, I feel like everyone that is an adult has the option to do what they want. If they don't want to get married, they want to live together, that's their choice. But at least in America, I feel that society as a whole should promote establishing a family structure before having children.
Phúc không nói là hai người phải cưới trước khi ăn cơm, nhưng mà nếu văn hóa khuyến khích nhiều hơn, so sánh với ví dụ like bài hát rap là baby mama this, baby mama that, and like đứa trẻ nghe bài hát này and go yeah baby mama, okay single mom. No, like văn hóa khuyến khích người là bắt đầu sử dụng một gia đình truyền thống thì có ít người stuck with a baby, you know?
Getting your finances in order, get your life in order before you go and have these children. Why? Well, I've read that statistically, a child in a single-parent household is far more likely to experience violence, commit suicide, continue a cycle of poverty, become drug dependent, commit a crime, or perform below their peers in education. Now, I have plenty of friends that are single mothers and single fathers, and I think they are great parents. But as a whole, I feel that society should encourage people to try to establish a family before having children. And in America, again, this isn't about Vietnam, but the culture that I come from, the media, from movies to music and TV shows, they promote this promiscuous lifestyle, and it's okay to have a side chick, to have a baby mama, to cheat on your partner. This is apparent, this is evident in many movies and music, and it's just thrown in our face. So instead, I feel like we should work together as a society to encourage a better family structure.
Phúc Mập,
Đây là một điều về văn hóa Việt Nam mà Phúc rất thích. Khi Phúc đi đến Việt Nam, mình bắt đầu hẹn hò với vợ của Phúc, một phụ nữ Việt Nam. Vợ đã là 28 tuổi nhưng mà phải về nhà trước khi 12 giờ. I said là sao? 28 tuổi rồi, bố mẹ sống ở Mỹ luôn. She said, đó là quy tắc. Phúc rất là bất ngờ, rất là tốt, Phúc rất thích.
So to back up this claim, I share my experience with dating in Vietnam. My wife and I started dating when we were about 28 years old, and come around midnight and she's like, I have to go home. I said, why do you have to go home? You're 28. She said, I'll get in trouble if I don't. I said, okay, but your parents live in America. She said, doesn't matter. My brother and sister will tell them and they will be upset with me. And at first I was shocked, coming from university life in America, and girls are, as we say in Vietnamese, trẻ trâu. And to see this over here, and not just my wife, but my teaching assistants as well, university students here, like they live with their parents until they're married. Thinking about having a daughter in the future, like I prefer that culture versus what America offers. If anything, I feel like Vietnam tries to support and encourage the family structure while America is fighting to destroy it and make it okay to not actually have a family, which I don't think so good. But again, that's just my opinion. Next up is episode 4, but that's the controversial one, so I will save that for later in the video. We'll go ahead and talk about episode 5, which was all about money in the family and who pays for what. And the celebrity guest for this one was Tan Ha, a famous singer in Vietnam who happens to be older than her husband and who actually paid for the first couple of dates because he only had his card. So it was a great way to start the discussion. At this point in the show, we start to talk about who pays on dates. And coming from America, I was raised with, the man pays the first date, the man pays the second date, and after that, you can kind of start to figure it out. But during the show, they have different skits to start the discussion for us, and in the skit, they had a very difficult to deal with girl.
Oh my goodness! Sao vậy? Bình tĩnh. Trời. Ủa anh, rồi tự nhiên tại sao mình phải cưa đôi cái bữa nay?
Không đâu mày. Ở Mỹ, văn hóa của Mỹ, tất nhiên đàn ông trả tiền lần đầu tiên, lần thứ hai. Nhưng mà nếu có một phụ nữ khó chịu như thế này, không trả gì, phụ nữ có thể trả hết.
Hiểu ý của Phúc.
If a girl has no respect and has quite the attitude on the first date, well then she can pay or we can split it because probably not going on another date after that.
Đối với Phúc, gia đình, bản thân, người yêu, ok, cho họ mượn tiền, nhưng mà ngoài họ không.
Người yêu là được, mặc dù họ có thể không trả lại.
Thì đi tìm người yêu mới.
Here we talk about borrowing money, and generally I only lend money to family and close friends because I know a lot of people don't pay back and you just ruin a friendship from it. But Dustin asked me, he said, well, what if you lent your money to a lover and they didn't pay it back? I said, well, then I just go find another lover, I guess. On this show, CJ and Mika and Salim, they spoke a lot more than me. They had a really strong opinions on certain topics. And me, somebody mentioned in the comments, even though Phúc Mập doesn't say as much, everything he says is funny. I consider myself an entertainer, kind of like a comedian, where I'm just here to make people laugh. Of course, I need to share my opinion, but I want to do it in a way where people think it's funny. This one's all about success. And part of this show is sharing a perspective from our country. And in America, we have what's called the American Dream.
Theo văn hóa Mỹ có một ý tưởng tên là ước mơ Mỹ, the American Dream. Nếu bạn là người siêng năng, là người tham vọng, sẽ có bất cứ gì cũng được.
If you want something and you work for it, well, you can achieve it. When talking about success, I always like to bring up the example of my old roommate, my good friend Brandon.
Bạn cùng phòng cũ của Phúc rất thích làm việc, rất thích tiết kiệm tiền. Anh ấy hiện tại là chủ 7 tòa nhà, có quá nhiều tiền bán tuổi Phúc. Tại sao? Tại vì đi làm việc 7 ngày trong một tuần, 10 năm liền.
Now, this guy worked 7 days a week for years to achieve what he has. Currently, he has like 7 or 8 houses. He's got a boat, he's got a jet ski, lives on a lake. I mean, the guy has success. But success is different for different people. For me, I wanted new experiences and I wanted to travel. So all the money that I made for the last 7 years was just put into traveling. And I went to like 11 or 12 countries all over Vietnam and had a lot of great experiences.
Nhưng mà Phúc rất thích đi du lịch, rất thích có thành công, một khác Phúc không cần nhiều tiền, không cần giàu, Phúc chỉ cần đủ tiền để chăm sóc gia đình và có một cuộc sống hạnh phúc.
To finish off this episode, I talk about following your passion. I feel like that is the most fulfilling way to live your life, is to find something that you love to do and find a way to make money with it. And traveling, filmmaking is what I love to do, but I also love teaching.
Không chỉ là YouTube mà còn là sự nghiệp của quay phim, của diễn viên. And Phúc cũng là giáo viên tiếng Anh. And đây là một công việc mà Phúc cảm thấy rất là hạnh phúc, tại vì Phúc thấy tiếng Anh của học sinh mình cải thiện. Phúc là giáo viên 6 năm rồi. Bắt đầu có học sinh khoảng 8 tuổi, bây giờ là 14 tuổi là trong lớp IELTS của Phúc. And họ có cuộc trò chuyện 100% chính xác với Phúc. Phúc cảm thấy rất là vừa ý với công việc của mình.
I've been an English teacher for 7 years now, and I talk about how rewarding this job is because I used to teach these kids at 7, 8 years old, and then here we are 7 years later, they're in an IELTS class, and they're having full conversations with me in English. And even though I'm not 100% responsible for that, I did play a part in that, and that is one of the most rewarding things about this job. Here we are at episode 11, Gin or Jealousy. For this one, I feel like every couple is different. From boyfriend to girlfriend to husband and wife, everyone has different levels of jealousy, and a lot of it depends on you. So one of the first things I say is you have to set your expectations in the beginning.
Tôi Phúc nghĩ là ban đầu hai người bắt đầu mối quan hệ nên cởi mở chia sẻ cảm giác của nhau để có thể hiểu nhau nhiều hơn. Nhưng mà nhiều người không nói chuyện với nhau và thấy một người khác đang nói chuyện với người yêu và rất là ghen. Nhưng mà Phúc biết vợ rồi, nếu vợ đang nói chuyện với đàn ông khác, biết vợ sẽ làm gì, biết Phúc sẽ làm gì với nữ khác. So, đối với Phúc đó là rất quan trọng, nói chuyện ban đầu.
I had talks with my wife when we were still dating. I said, look, this is what I expect. This is what I don't like. And anything that I expect or don't like with you when it comes to other men, you're going to get the same from me when it comes to other women in terms of flirting or whatever those boundaries are with people. We made sure that we discussed this in full before actually committing to a serious relationship. And I feel like if a lot of people did this, then there would be less problems in the relationship. There always will be problems over finances or whatever else, but this is one thing that you can solve in the beginning. Set clear expectations and boundaries and follow those same ones for yourself.
Phúc cũng là diễn viên, không phải là diễn viên hài hoặc là chuyên nghiệp. Nhưng mà Phúc đã nói với đạo diễn rồi, Phúc không hôn ai trong phim, trên TV. Đây là quan điểm của Phúc. So nếu Phúc không cho phép vợ thì vợ không cho phép Phúc.
Nhưng mà không phải ai cũng được như vậy.
This part got a little sensitive for some of the cast, but when I was younger, I never thought I would be in showbiz or be on TV shows and movies, but here we are today. Now, I have one code that I express to the directors or whoever's in charge. Like, I don't mind being in this, doing something stupid, but in the end, I'm not going to kiss any other actresses or actors. I'm not going to be in any romantic scenes. Why? Because I'm married, and I would never allow my wife to do that. To me, the career is not that important. Some of the cast, well, they've been in those situations before and they don't exactly agree. That's fine. Every relationship's different. But it goes back to what I said about setting boundaries. Look, I told my wife, I'm never going to do a romantic scene with someone in any TV show or movie because I would never allow you to do it either. Episode 13, all about divorce. And as I said with the celebrities before, they brought in a lady named Kat Phung, who is a celebrity that has dealt with divorce before. So they wanted her opinion on it with all of us.
Xã hội của Mỹ gần 50% kết hôn, cuối cùng là ly hôn. Nhưng mà đối với Phúc, đó là tại sao Phúc hẹn hò với vợ gần 2 năm trước khi cầu hôn. Tại vì Phúc muốn làm chắc chắn. Nói với vợ, nói với mẹ vợ, Phúc muốn chắc chắn là vậy là đây là phụ nữ, Phúc sẽ dành tất cả thời gian của mình mãi mãi.
It is a very sensitive issue, and this is one of the reasons why I dated my wife for almost 2 years before asking her to marry me. I wanted to be sure, I wanted to be certain. And I mentioned how in America, unfortunately, most marriages, or I say most, 50% of marriages end in divorce. So you really need to be careful with who you marry. You need to make sure that you are compatible with them and that you can spend time with them.
Khi Phúc mới 7 tuổi, bố mẹ đã ly hôn. Mẹ của Phúc đã tìm một chồng mới. And chồng này rất là hiền, rất là thân thiện, rất là tốt bụng. Hiện tại họ với nhau 10 năm, có một cuộc sống rất là hạnh phúc. So Phúc tin vào điều là hai người có thể thêm hạnh phúc sau khi ly hôn.
I didn't really have much to say on this topic because every couple is different. But I used an example from my life. My parents got divorced when I was 17. It was tough at the time, but I feel like both of them found happiness after. And that's one of the questions they ask. Can people find happiness after divorce? I truly believe they can. For episode 16, it's all about should you go and have adventures and new experiences while you're young, or should you work while you're young and do it when you're older? Goes back to the episode about success. I think everyone's different. I think if you want to go and explore while you're still young, do it while you have energy, or if you feel more confident being financially secure, secure your money first and then go do it when you're older. It's really up to you.
Về việc tiền, khi một người trẻ hơn rất dễ đi du lịch, rẻ hơn. Ví dụ Phúc ở một nhà trọ có 16 người trong một phòng, chỉ là $4 một đêm, nhưng mà mẹ của Phúc là người già rồi. Xin lỗi mẹ. Người già rồi và trả ít nhất là $100 một đêm trong một khách sạn. Phúc chưa bao giờ trả $100 một khách sạn, tại vì Phúc là người trẻ, anh cảm thấy rất là thoải mái với nhà trọ. Nhưng mà khi Phúc là người già, không muốn ở nhà trọ.
We go on to talk about how we travel, and I have a very unique way of traveling, and that is I travel cheap. A lot of people think I'm loaded to be able to go to all the different places that I've been to. Not the case, especially when I pay $2 to $7 a night for a bed, sometimes in a room of like 18 people. But I don't care. It's more about the experience, less about where I stay. And we go on to discuss this, that while I'm young, I don't mind sleeping in those places. I was in southern Laos paying like $2 a night for a bed in a farm, and there's rats and cockroaches and snakes, and that's great, I don't mind. But at 50 years old, I don't think I would like that.
Đó là một lý do Phúc nói với vợ rằng là Phúc phải đi đến Đà Lạt. Tại sao? Tại vì làm video cho YouTube. Đi du lịch đi. Cảm
Đấy
ơn
là một
vợ.
lý do tuyệt vời đúng không? Lúc nào anh em muốn đi đâu
Đúng
là
rồi.
bảo là làm video.
Now that I've been doing YouTube for like 2.5 years and travel is one of the niches that I'm in, I use travel as an excuse to go make more videos. Or I use the videos as an excuse to travel, one or the other. So in the beginning of this year, I told my wife, I said, hey, I need to go to Đà Lạt with some friends. She said, why? I said, it's a business trip. I gotta make YouTube videos. I said, okay, great, have fun. I'm still putting those videos out, so the trip paid off.
Phúc chỉ muốn nói là cuộc sống không chắc chắn, không biết tương lai là gì. Bố của Phúc một sư hơi viết là chưa bao giờ ra khỏi đất nước Mỹ, but bây giờ già rồi and không muốn ra khỏi nữa. Bố của Phúc thấy Phúc ở Việt Nam and rất là ghen tị. Không phải là ghen tị, but ước mơ của bố là đã khám phá nhiều đất nước hơn khi trẻ hơn và có nhiều năng lượng hơn. Bây giờ không có đủ năng lượng để làm như vậy.
When it comes to these episodes, you know, I give my opinion, but I'm not innocent by any means. As I mentioned in the divorce episode, my parents got divorced. I may not agree with getting plastic surgery, but I have tattoos, you know, and when it comes to passports, I mentioned how Americans are ignorant because they don't have passports. My dad has never had a passport. And they ask us about how our parents feel when it comes to us not being close to them. If I'm being honest, I feel like my parents are proud. I feel like they are living vicariously through me because I'm doing something that they could never do. So even though it sucks not being close to my family and not be able to go and visit very often, at the same time, they get to look at my work in Vietnam and be proud of what I'm doing and see what it's like for life over here. We finally made it. The controversial episode, episode 4. When I heard the topic of this episode being food, I got really excited because out of all the topics in Vietnamese, I feel like my language skills are the strongest when it comes to food. I mean, I'm a fat guy, of course, but I had no idea some of the questions they were going to ask and some of the controversy that was going to come from this episode.
Mình không ăn từ cái đầu nha.
Ồ, vãi hả? Dustin nói là không được ăn đầu, nhưng mà đó là người sợ có thể ăn đầu được.
Hay quá.
When I was originally cast for the show, they asked me if I had any special talents like singing or dancing. And I was honest, I said no, not really, but I can eat just about anything. In fact, I've eaten rat, I've eaten goat testicles on Vietnamese television before, and I've done a variety of weird dishes on my channel, so yeah, I would say that's a talent. Just so happens, episode 4, I got a chance to showcase that talent. They brought out a plate of dung dừa, and if you're not familiar with dung dừa, these are coconut worms and they are traditionally eaten alive. I have plenty of experience eating these. In fact, I really enjoy them now. Dustin, the host, he says, be careful because they will bite you, which they will. I've been bitten before, but I said, look, that is the attitude of a coward. You need to eat the head first. So I just took the head and ripped it off. And, you know, some people could eat them with us and some people couldn't. But in the end, I finally got a chance to showcase my best talent, and that is eating just about anything.
Thôi bây giờ thử hỏi mọi người xem mọi người đã ăn những món nào tại Việt Nam nhá.
Rất thích ăn thịt chuột.
Rất thích ăn thịt chuột.
Đó là lần đầu tiên mà Phúc lên TV ở Việt Nam. Họ hỏi Phúc là Phúc ăn cái gì cũng được, đúng không? Dạ đúng rồi. And món đầu tiên là thịt chuột đồng.
They asked us about a dish that we've enjoyed in Vietnam, and I raised my hand and honestly answered, rat. As I said, I got to try it on Vietnamese television. I never had a plan to eat it, but once I did eat it, I said, hey, this is pretty good. In fact, it tastes like chicken.
Đây là góc nhìn của Phúc. Mặc dù Phúc không ăn thịt chó, nhưng Phúc thấy nhiều người là đạo đức giả.
When we were told about the topic for this episode, I had a feeling this question would come up. And I knew the answer that I wanted to give was my honest opinion, not some politically correct for TV opinion. No, my honest opinion. So before we get started, I want to take this time to apologize. I would like to apologize to absolutely nobody because it's my opinion. And if you don't agree with it, too bad. That's life. Go follow somebody else. Back up a little bit. All right, a lot of you have no idea what I'm talking about, so let me elaborate. They ask us our feelings on dog meat. And stereotypically, Vietnam, China, Korea, people think, oh, they just eat a bunch of dog over there. And while they do eat dog here, the truth is a lot of Vietnamese don't. And a lot of Vietnamese actually don't agree with it at all. But that being said, there are still dog meat restaurants around my house. If you go up north, there's even more. The reason I gave the answer I did is because after living here, I feel like even though I don't eat dog meat, I don't criticize people who eat meat different than mine. Why? Because I still eat meat. I'm still responsible for animals' deaths for my own pleasure. The option of being vegan is there for people. The option of being vegan is there for people, but instead you choose to eat meat. I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying don't criticize people who eat different meat than you. That's hypocritical.
Tại vì nhiều người ăn thịt gà, thịt vịt. And họ nói, but con chó đây là thù khương. Phúc là người có con gà thù khương, con vịt thù khương. Nhưng mà mọi người đang ăn. So, tại sao nói về thịt chó hoặc là thịt mèo? Không ăn được nhưng mà vẫn ăn thịt gà cả đời. Đó là đạo đức giả.
Some people said đạo đức giả is a very strong word. I know what it means. It means hypocrite. And to me, that's hypocritical. Just my opinion. Now, on that note, the idea of dog meat in Vietnam is fueled by the theft of dogs. Being a dog owner my whole life, do I agree with that? No. In fact, I don't agree with theft at all. I'm the guy that thinks you should cut a finger off if somebody gets caught stealing. I don't agree with stealing anybody's property. But that doesn't change the fact of what I'm talking about, the act of eating dog meat. Not how they are caught, not how they are killed. In China, they boil them alive, which is horrible. I don't even agree with doing that to lobsters. So people took this out of context, whereas I'm just saying pigs are smarter than dogs. Facts don't care about your feelings. Yes, we are more partial to dogs and cats. We see them as best friends. It doesn't change the fact that meat is meat. Now, after this, a lot of you might not agree with me. That's fine. In fact, more people agreed with me in the comments than I thought there would be. Of course, some people disagreed and sent me hate messages and left comments, but that hate is directed in the wrong way. That's what I didn't understand. If you have a problem with something and you really want to fix it, go to the source. You can go on Google. There's a dog meat restaurant right down the street from my house. Go protest. They do it in America. Stand in front of it with a sign. Tell them how you really feel. If that's the problem you want to fix, do something about it instead of focusing on someone that just gives their opinion on a TV show where they're asked to give their honest opinion. Simple as that. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I started 9 episodes on this season, and I have to say it is one of the most interesting shows I've ever taken part in. If you're interested to see any of these episodes in full, go on my channel in the playlist section. I have a playlist of all the TV shows I've taken part in here in Vietnam. Now, if you didn't agree with my opinions and you're actually really mad at me about something I said, go down here, hit the dislike button and the unsubscribe button while you're there. If you did agree with my opinions or just the fact that I gave an honest opinion altogether, like the video and comment your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for checking out my channel here on Phúc Mập Vlog. Until next time, hang gặp lại and chúc mừng năm mới.